So really, what I'm doing here is I'm pretty much just out looking around for groups of crappies out in outer space using forward-facing sonar. So this is Mega Live, and then I got a little drop shot here, which is a super effective way to put a bait directly on top of these fish. So those ones are about 25 feet out. Boom, I was a little past them. There goes my bait, down to them. Just above them. You can kind of start seeing them react to it a little there. Oh, that one came off of it. Just kind of hovering, oh, missed him. Hovering it right around them. These ones are just suspended, so I mean there's not a that's not a huge group of fish, but there's enough there to catch. Goes my bait back down to him. I'm gonna stop that one above him. See if I see that one's coming up. There we go. That's not a bad. Getting a little better. That one threw slack into my line. Not a huge one again, but they are biting if you can just get your bait over the top of them. And that's just a really tiny little micro drop shot, if that's what you want to call it. I got a number 4 drop shot hook on, and then this is actually a little ice fishing plastic. And I've just got that nose hooked. And that you can see how that just kind of wiggles down there, and there we go, and they are biting. One nice thing about, sorry buddy, about using plastics and like a drop shot, that delivery system is how efficient it is. Because a lot of times when you get in a situation like this, where they're grouped up out in the basin, sometimes they're just sitting still where you can see them on 2D and drop a waypoint and just sit on top of them, but a lot of times they're out moving around. So staying efficient, you know, landing that fish, unhooking it, not having to deal with any kind of live bait or anything, you can just get right back on top of them as fast as possible without losing them. Here he comes. Ooh, missed him. Drop right back down to him. Here he comes, got him. and it's really just that simple. You know, a drop shot is a great presentation as a whole, right? It's just a great bait delivery system. You can just see he's just perched right in the top of that mouth. Got a good hook in him there. And especially with pan fishing, crappie fishing, whatever, it's really nice because you can deliver a pretty small plastic without a jig head. So a little bit bigger group of them. Right there, down, 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 stop it. Oh, here he comes, and got him. Oh, there it is. And I mean, that's just with the drop shot too, again, just to kind of reiterate, it's a really great way to present a tiny little plastic. Oh, and he got it, dang it. Get that out of his mouth. A bad little crappie. A tiny little plastic quickly in deeper water. Because with this too, I keep talking about efficiency, but being able to get a bait on top of these fish quickly is important. So I'm able to use, I've got a 3/16 ounce weight and then a tiny little plastic. And one thing as I'm chasing, I mean, you can see the size of this school. It's not like a huge giant school, but there's enough fish there. When you're using live imaging as a whole, one really important part of it is your boat positioning. What I like is to be able to stay downwind. I can use the wind for a couple different things. Number one, it keeps my boat pointed straight so I can get a good lineup on those fish. And then it also helps me control my speed so I don't run up on them too fast. Because if you're kind of like off to the side of the fish and you're trying to cast at a 90-degree angle, it can be kind of hard to get your bait inside the cone of that transducer at times. And so keeping your boat, your trolling motor, everything in a straight line and using the wind to do that is definitely beneficial. And so, I mean, you can come out here and do this with standard 2D sonar and drive around, mark them, sit on top of them, catch them, but the ability to stay on top of the school as they're moving around is obviously will just help you put more fish in the boat. Just hover it right over the top of them. Here that one comes. Got him. That one's a little better, getting a little bigger. And so, I mean, yeah, sometimes it just takes sifting through them, but getting a little bigger. You can see how using plastics and everything is just really efficient, because now I just release that fish, I get right back on my sonar, and that school is just 20 feet off to the right there. See if I can catch another one really quick. And we're a little off as far as boat positioning goes. Well, here we go, right over the top of them. Here it comes. Another thing too is you kind of got to walk and chew gum at this. Oh, that one just came flying up. You kind of got to walk and chew gum at the same time when you're doing this. A lot of times, it's a little bit bigger one. A lot of times when these fish are moving, you got to be able to move your trolling motor and fish at the same time. And I know it sounds like it's, you know, basic, right? But until you go out and do it, sometimes the mechanics of keeping that bait in front of that fish and the fish inside that cone on your electronics, it can be difficult. So just understanding the fact that you got to continuously adjust your trolling motor as you're doing this can be really important. We're in kind of dirty water here, so you're able to get pretty tight on them. Sometimes you got to stay off 30, 40 feet and pitch on them, but these ones are hanging around for us. Oh, and that one, they're getting fired up. Come on, come on up, come on up. Oh, here he comes. Got him. And that one, oh shoot, lost him. Paper mouths, but you're really kind of working them up. You know, you drop it down to them and you're gauging how that fish is reacting based on what you're seeing on your sonar. So I've noticed that once I get one to come up out of the school, if I keep bringing him up, he's eventually going to eat, just like that one did. You can see the whole school following. I just missed him. Drop it back down, and you can see the separation between my bait and my plastic. Oh, shoot. Missed him. Oh, and he got my plastic. So we filmed this entire video with one whipworm, so now I got to get a new one. But you can see it's just an 1.5 inch worm, 1.25 inches. There's really nothing too crazy. Those fish are, I spot locked, so those fish should kind of stay out in front of us. But the way I'm putting it on this drop shot hook too is I guess, you know, I'm nose hooking it, but I'm kind of threading it on. You get that I guess horizontal part of the hook. And so I'm just taking that, and I'm not going all the way through. I'm kind of just putting it right there. So at maximum action on that tail there. Oh, wow. They're going crazy after it. Coming all the way to me, and I got a little, there we go. I was a little heavy on the trolling motor there. Oh, that's a nice one. And so those ones ate it like 3-4 times. And I kind of ran up on them a little too fast. But one thing with using plastics, you miss a fish, generally you're still in the game. You don't have to worry about like live bait falling off. Unlike live bait, you don't have to worry about it falling off. But then too, when you're using something like power bait, when they get, it's got scent and everything in it, right? So once they taste it, they're not like turned off by it. So, because it's got that extra, that real flavor, it feels real, tastes real to them. So that's one thing too, and whenever I'm chasing panfish with plastics, it's kind of nice to have that added scent and flavor there. Floating it, got him. Nice. And check that out. Nice bluegill mixed in with all those crappies. Ooh, I mean, that's a pretty good size one. Right there. That's what's kind of fun. You get into these suspended schools of panfish, and you never know what you're gonna get. Bluegills like plastics too. I'll let him go. Shoop. And there they are, just waiting for me. Get that plastic back straight on there, and go right back to it. Down, down, down. Here he comes. Oh, missed him. See them all coming up after my stuff. They're chasing really good right now. Oh, missed him. Kind of got off of my bait. That's all bait down there. And those fish kind of sank back down to the bottom. And that's one nice thing too about, you know, fishing a drop shot as opposed to like a slip bobber or anything, is these fish, what we've noticed today, based on just watching them, is that they're changing depths relatively quickly. They're not just hanging out, just suspended. Like this fish here, he's a little bit up off the bottom, but they're going up and down quite a bit. And so having the ability to adjust your depths and keeping that bait above the school is really important. And he came flying up off the bottom. It's a nice crap bait. Oh, sorry, buddy. Just another one. And you can pretty much just sit here and do this and follow around these schools all day long until they don't bite anymore.